Daisho Tactical, a small company you've probably never heard of until now, and that's going to change because I'm going to be reviewing their single to 2-point conversion sling. I'm Tyler Austin from Gungear Strategic. Thank you so much for watching. Now, full disclosure, because that's what I do here, if I have something to disclose in regards to a product, I know Rob, and he did send me this for free to test out and to review. Doesn't mean I'm going to be any less critical of it, but again, full disclosure because there is something to disclose there. So be aware, I did receive this for free to test and review. Now, if you don't know who Rob from Daisho Tactical is, you should. He has a fantastic YouTube channel, Daisho Tactical. I've done videos with him in the past and will certainly do more with him in the future. He is also the same guy who ran the Gunfather Milsim channel. Be aware that he does make his own gear under the Daisho Tactical name, primarily slings, but he also makes other little things such as shooting bags and other stuff as well. So with all that being said, I won't take up too much of your time over a sling review. However, what makes this sling a little bit different than others out on the market? Because there's a lot of good slings out there on the market. Well, number one, this is a one-man operation, so Rob is the only guy. He personally makes every single one of these slings and any of his other products as well. So your money isn't going to some big corporation if that's something you care about. So that's something to consider. But there's a lot of good things about this sling that definitely differentiate it from others out there on the market. The first being that it's a bungee sling. Now, obviously, this isn't the only bungee sling out on the market. There are lots of bungee slings out there. However, this is a different take on the bungee sling that you normally see. Most bungee slings, the bungee runs, if not the entire length of the sling, at least the majority of the sling is bungee. With this sling, just a 10-inch section of the rear of the sling is the bungee. Now, I'm not going to say this is necessarily better or worse than the traditional bungee sling. However, this is different, and one of the main benefits that I could definitely see in terms of this type of configuration of the bungee is that traditionally when you have that bungee stretch across the entire sling, you get a lot of bunching because that you have to have extra material and extra nylon, of course, to account for the stretch of that bungee. And a lot of times, especially if you don't have anything covering your neck, that bunching up of that nylon can cause a lot of friction around your neck or your gear. And sometimes those slings have a higher likelihood of snagging around your clothing and your gear and so forth. I've had experiences with that. Again, those types of bungee slings are great, but that is a disadvantage to that type of bungee sling. With this, you don't get that. It's just a slick piece of circular a bungee, so this thing glides no problem, and you don't get that bunching up of the excess nylon that you would in a traditional bungee. But you still get the advantage of having that bungee, so if you need that extra inch or two to get that gun out and to get that gun out into full presentation, you still have that. Now, on this particular sling, the bungee is only located on the back and not on the front, so that's something to consider. Moving on from there, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a 2 to 1 point conversion, so you can either run this as a 2-point sling, or if you choose to do so, you can run it as a single point sling, which for me personally, all my slings, virtually all my slings, are 2 to 1 point conversions, because I do, although I mostly run 2-point, there are times where I really like to run 1 point. One example of that would be in car work, where a lot of people will just, in some form or fashion, secure the sling or wrap the sling on the rifle. There's a variety of different methods to do that. Personally, what I prefer to do is I'll just set the sling in a 1-point manner, in a 1-point fashion, detach the sling to the rifle, and I just have the sling attached to my body, and I'll just store the rifle wherever I'm going to store it in the vehicle, and when I exit the vehicle, whatever, I just take the sling, reattach it to the rifle, and I am now reconnected to the rifle. And if I want to go 2-point, all I do is attach or detach this and reattach it to the front end of the gun. This one's a little tight because it's an H&K hook. There it goes. And now I'm back to 2-point. You can get it in a variety of different attachments. I just got H&K hooks for this particular one, but he has all sorts of different attachment styles. So you can go look on his website if you have a particular type of attachment end that you want. He'll probably have it. Moving on from there, one other thing that also makes this sling interesting and different from others on the market is how it adjusts in terms of length and tightness. Now, most slings on the market, when you pull the sling backwards, so like you're driving your hand towards yourself, typically that's how you loosen the sling, at least for the majority of these slings I've used and owned. And to tighten up the sling, meaning to bring the sling tighter and bring the gun tighter to your body, you pull the sling towards the gun. With this sling, it's actually the exact opposite. When I want to tighten up the sling and make it tighter to my body, I grab this convenient pull tab he has made on the sling, and I pull it towards me, which tightens up the sling. And in the event that I need to loosen the sling, I just grab anywhere on the tag end here, and I just pull it towards the gun. Now, although it's opposite, it's, in my opinion, more intuitive. I pull the sling towards my body, the pull tab towards my body to tighten and bring the gun closer to me, and I pull the sling away from me and towards the end of the gun to loosen the sling. It's more intuitive that way. So again, to tighten the sling, all I do is I just grab this pull tab and I pull it towards my body. And when I want to loosen the sling, all I do is I grab the end somewhere on the sling, pull towards the gun, and that loosens the sling. So yeah, it does sling things. Like I said, I have this thing for a little over a month now, and I've used it quite a bit since I've had it. And I really, really do like this sling. I like it a lot, actually. With that being said, I think there are 2 ways that this sling could be even more improved. It's already a fantastic sling, but I think it can be improved in 2 areas. Number one, I actually think it would benefit from being a little wider. Now, this is 1-inch nylon, and I think it would actually benefit from being 1 1/4. Now, to be fair, this is very well a personal bias of mine. I tend to like wider slings for a variety of reasons. The 2 main reasons being that it tends to, it's a lot less likely to flip around on you, so twist up around your body, which can be annoying. And number 2, it tends to be a little bit more comfortable when you're wearing the sling and the rifle for an extended period of time, whether you're out on the range or doing something serious. If you're having to have your rifle slung for a longer period of time, having that little extra material definitely helps. But again, that's a bit of a personal bias of mine. Some people do like 1-inch slings. Some people prefer narrower slings. And personally, I just prefer wider slings. So at least having an option for a slightly wider sling, I think, would be a good idea. The next thing that I think could improve the sling a little bit is actually having a bit of a sleeve around this bungee section. And the reason why I think that would be a benefit is, number one, that would help prevent the sling from flipping, because this circular bungee section does have a tendency to want to roll the sling over. So having a sleeve around it that's flat, like you normally see in like a bungee type sling, would definitely help prevent that. And also for certain people like myself who I'm real short, so I have the sling pretty short to accommodate that. This section right here, where the bungee attaches to the nylon portion of the sling, this section right here tends to rub on my clavicle a bit when I'm manipulating the gun and the sling. I've just noticed that. It's probably just due to my body size and how I have the sling set up, so this takes up a larger percentage of the sling than it normally would for a normal sized human being. But I have noticed that, and it might be noticeable to some other people too, where this tends to ride directly on my clavicle, and when I'm manipulating the rifle, it tends to rub up and down. So having a bit of a cover for that would probably improve that for people in my situation. But like I said, those are two little things that I think would improve the sling. Otherwise, I really like this thing. I will probably end up buying more of these, especially for smaller guns of mine. Yeah, I really, really like the sling. Go ahead and check out Rob over at Daisho Tactical and his website, Daisho Tactical, to look at these slings and purchase one. Again, he also makes a lot of other things as well, such as shooting bags and other little gear stuff. So definitely be sure to check these out. He does make other slings as well, other versions of the sling, purely 2-point slings, as well as other types of slings. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out. Rob is also a 20-something year SWAT guy, so he's somebody who's worth supporting. So definitely be sure to check out his website, Daisho Tactical, and also be sure to check out his YouTube channel, Daisho Tactical, as well. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm Tyler Austin from Gun Gear Strategic. Thank you so much for watching.